Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're talking about an animal that is both wolf and dog, but is actually neither. And the law has absolutely no idea what to do with it. By the end of this video, you'll understand why this creature is challenging the future of wildlife and even our own legal systems. And I promise, it will change how you see your own pet dog forever. Imagine you're in Connecticut, owning an animal that requires special wild animal permits. Now drive that same animal across the state line into Massachusetts, and suddenly, it's just a regular domestic dog. How can a living creature's entire identity change just by crossing an imaginary line on a map? That question has no simple answer, because we're diving into the world of the wolf-dog hybrid, an animal trapped in an identity crisis. Biologically, the story gets fascinating. The domestic dog, or Canis lupus familiaris, is technically a subspecies of the gray wolf, Canis lupus. It's like saying a toy poodle and a wild timber wolf are distant cousins from the same family tree. This close relationship turns the simple act of defining a hybrid between them into a scientific and legal nightmare. For instance, some breeders play a numbers game claiming, "This pup is 50% wolf." But these percentages are often meaningless marketing ploys to sell a super dog. This confusion has led to tragic outcomes. Dogs with zero wolf genetics have been confiscated and even euthanized just because of their looks. And on the flip side, powerful, high-content hybrids have been sold as simple, husky mixes to families completely unprepared for what they were bringing home. But this is just the beginning. So how do you end this dangerous guessing game? With science. Today, scientists use advanced techniques like DNA fingerprinting. Think of it like a unique genetic barcode for every animal. These tests can tell with incredible accuracy whether an animal is a pure wolf, a pure dog, or a hybrid, even from a microscopic trace of saliva or a single hair. But science is always pushing further. Newer techniques act like digging into an ancient family tree. They can reveal not just if an animal is a hybrid, but if that genetic mixing happened generations ago. This means there's no more room for doubt. But here's the twist. Even with all this technology, identifying a hybrid based on its appearance alone is still nearly impossible. An animal can look exactly like a Siberian husky while possessing purely wild instincts. You might think, okay, so these hybrids must be bad for nature, right? And in one sense, you're absolutely correct. When a hybrid breeds with a wild wolf, dog genes flow into the wild gene pool. This acts as a sneaky threat, slowly diluting the genetic integrity of wolf populations and pushing them closer to local extinction. But hold on, because this is where the story takes a 180-degree turn. Sometimes this genetic mixing isn't just harmless, it's a massive evolutionary advantage. The perfect example is Tibetan dogs. They can thrive at high altitudes with low oxygen. You know where they got that ability? From their ancestors breeding with Tibetan gray wolves. The wolf gene gave them a survival superpower, and incredibly, it works the other way too. In North America, some wolves have inherited a specific gene from dogs that strengthens their immune system, helping them fight off diseases more effectively. So these creatures are neither heroes nor villains. They are wild cards in the game of evolution. All this complexity brings us to the most important, and perhaps most heartbreaking part of the story. When a human decides to bring a wolf-dog hybrid home as a pet. Domestic dogs have evolved to be like perpetual puppies, remaining socially dependent on humans for their entire lives. But a wolf-dog hybrid reaches full mental maturity between the ages of 2 and 4. This means the playful personality you knew can suddenly become independent, unpredictable, and intensely territorial. They suffer from extreme neophobia, a fear of anything new. A new guest, a loud noise, or even rearranging the furniture can be incredibly stressful for them. And their wild instincts don't just get suppressed in a small yard, they explode. Imagine trying to keep a marathon runner in a closet forever. They will destroy that closet not because they are bad, but because they weren't built for it. The stories from hybrid owners are filled with destroyed homes, walls dug through in escape attempts, and furniture shredded to pieces. The cost of care is staggering. Their diet requires raw meat and bones, costing thousands of dollars a year. The enclosures needed to contain them must be like fortresses because they are escape artists. And then there's the massive, dangerous problem of the rabies vaccine. Standard dog vaccines are not officially approved for use in hybrids. This means that even if an owner gets their animal vaccinated, if it ever bites someone, it is legally considered an unvaccinated animal, with potentially tragic consequences. For far too many of these animals, the story ends in abandonment, confiscation by authorities, or euthanasia, all because a human fell in love with their wild look, but was completely unprepared for their wild spirit. So what's the answer to our first question? How does an animal's identity change at the border? The answer is, it doesn't. We change it, because we as humans haven't been able to define it. The wolf-dog hybrid lives in the limbo of our laws, in the gap between science and public perception, and on the razor's edge between our love for the wild and our desire to control it. These animals are a mirror held up to us, a mirror that shows just how thin, fragile, and perhaps even artificial the line we've drawn between wild and tame really is. I'm so glad you stayed with me through all of that. Your support means the world to us. You guys are like our family and we love you. If this video got you thinking, show some love with a like and subscribe so we can explore more stories like this together. And check out this other video I think you'll enjoy. Maybe the next time you look at a dog, you'll remember that deep inside there's still an echo of the wolf's call.